Welcome to Z's and Threes.
For three for the win, yes!
And wow, we made it. NBA regular season has concluded. Before we get started on the final regular season episode, I want to take y'all back. Check it out. Tyler Denning back at it again. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is Monday, October 14th, 2024. 6 games were played yesterday on Sunday, but we'll recap the weekend as well. Plenty of action as we count down to the regular season tip-off just 8 days away, October 22nd. Let's get you caught up. That is where we were October 9th, the preseason test. Season 3s was just an idea I had, and this is where we are. What a ride. 125 episodes across 26 weeks. Only 3 DMPs for your boy. Almost 82 games started. But we are just getting started. The goal by the end of the regular season was to have 100 subscribers, and boy, did we blow that out. Shout out to all of you. We crossed the 2,000 subscriber mark earlier tonight. Thank you so much. What an epic day, an epic conclusion to set up what looks like an all-timer coming for the playoffs. We break it all down, what happened across today's final 15 games, the whole league in action, who was playing for what, and where that leaves things play-in-wise, playoff-wise, all sorts of stuff, leading scores, superlatives, all you need to know. Welcome to all of the new subscribers. You're tapping in at just the right time. If you aren't subscribed yet and you like the show, you like the motion, hit that like button like a Bub Carrington game winner. Let's get you caught up. Group chat. Game of the day, not game of the night, because there were 15 games. 7 started at 1 o'clock Eastern. The other 8 started at 3:30. So we had to wait to see the drama, and this was the game of the day. Play out of the play in were the stakes for the Clippers and the Warriors. The winner of the game would be in the top 6. Different positions for either team if they were to win. Somebody had to win, right? The loser, we knew that the loser was going to the play-in, having to play their way into the playoffs. The game delivered. All the big names had big games, had the big plays, big drama, so much so that we needed extra time. How did we get there? Well, the Warriors rode the home crowd, built their biggest lead of the game to 12 points in the middle of the second quarter, but they led by only 1 at the halftime break. It was a back-and-forth game. Clippers took a 7-point lead with 8:05 left in regulation. Half of 3 James Harden made free throws. Felt like the Clippers maybe had the finishing kick, were going to pull away, but the Warriors 1-2 punch. Yes, Steph Curry and Brandon Podziemski combined for a stretch of 10 points that tied things up with 3:38 left. After a trademark Curry 3 put the Warriors up 4 with a $156 in regulation, a Harden layup, and then an Ivica Zubac alley-oop from Chris Dunn with Draymond Green caught in between. A costly Podziemski travel happened between that sequence, tied the game up 56 seconds. From there, both teams go on a scoring drought. Ends up Clippers ball, 10.6 seconds left. Kawhi Leonard working the ISO, working the dribble. Draymond Green guarding, defensive player of the year, 2-time finals MVP. Kawhi, tough contested deep 2 for the win. No good. Overtime we go. Just about as much drama as you could get for this play out of the play-in game. In the overtime session, it was all about the beard, a.k.a. James Harden. He had a jumper with 65 seconds left, put his team up 4. Warriors, though, get a layup from Jimmy Butler, and after a Kawhi missed layup travel, Golden State has a chance to tie it. Ends up with a Draymond Green blown bunny layup. Could not tie the game, but the Warriors still have a chance. After Kawhi goes 1 of 2, misses the front end of 2 free throws, gives Golden State the ball. 6.1 seconds left, down 3. This is a no-brainer, right? Who's the ball going to? The action is for Buddy Hield, who misses the 3. He's a good 3-point shooter, but he's not Steph Curry. Remember the other night when we saw Steve Kerr on the sidelines introducing Buddy Hield to Steph Curry, saying, hey, that's the greatest 3-point shooter of all time? Maybe Steph Curry needed to go to Steve Kerr and say, hey, Steve, get the action for me. We all know the ball's going to Steph, but you like your chances. It is Steph Curry. Buddy Hield misses the 3. Harden ends at the line. 124-119 Clippers win. Steph in the fourth and overtime, he had 18 in the fourth period, 5 for 5, 3 for 3 from 3, 5 for 5 from the free throw stripe. In overtime, held to just 3 points on 1 of 3 shooting. The Warriors go cold, 3 of 10 in the extra period. Harden in overtime, 12 of the team's 13 points. Clippers secure the guaranteed playoff spot. They are the 5 seed. They win their 50th game. Warriors go to the play-in. That will happen on Thursday, hosting the Memphis Grizzlies. No, that game is Tuesday, 16 consecutive playoff berths for James Harden. The record NBA history is 19. Tim Duncan, John Stockton, and Karl Malone have that. 16 times consecutively Harden has taken his team to the playoffs, part of 9 consecutive 50-win seasons. Game of the day, it delivered. Let's talk the rest. Remember, there were 15 games today, so I've broken it up into games that really mattered. Start with the Denver Nuggets at the Houston Rockets. Nuggets, controllers of their own destiny, as regardless of what else happened, if they won, they secured the 4 seed. Check out the Kyrie Irving box in the back. I picked some up over the weekend for the Signature Sneaker Showdown, working on an episode for this week. Just wanted to point it out. Nuggets, in control of their destiny. Rockets, nothing to seemingly play for. They are locked into their well and hard-earned 2 seed. But Ime Udoka said he was going to suit up all the regulars to give it a go, maybe a playoff tune-up, wanting to get them back in the routine, using the final game to do such. See how they responded. Denver amasses a 13-point lead at the end of the first quarter and does not look back. Goes to 36. Both teams pull the starters. Bench units finish it off for a 126-111 Nuggets win. No triple-double, 18, 7, and 7 from Jokic, but he does finish the season averaging a triple-double, 29.8 points, 12.8 rebounds, 10.3 assists. Just the 4th player in NBA history to do such. 3rd in total points, 4th in total rebounds, 2nd in total assists, 4th in total steals. Seems very valuable to me. So the Nuggets lock up the 4 seed. Utah, Minnesota, a chance that the Wolves could start the playoffs against the Nuggets. It would be the 3rd season in a row that the Nuggets and the Wolves meet in the playoffs. Nuggets beat them on their way to the title. Wolves ended the Nuggets season last year in their quest for repeat in that epic Game 7. The Wolves controlled their own fate in a win against the lowly Jazz. It would guarantee to keep them from the play-in. But would it be the 5 seed or the 6 seed? It was dependent on that Clippers-Golden State game that was happening at the same time. This game was interesting early, just a 1-point lead at half for the Wolves, but they blow the doors off it in the third, a 40-28 period. Anthony Edwards finishes with 43 points, an absurd 7 of 18 from 3. He was clearly going for the title of 3-point king, most 3-point makes on the season. Would he get it? I will tell you shortly. Dallas, Memphis. This game had stakes in that the Grizzlies had to wait for the other results to see their fate, but a win wasn't going to hurt. What they got was a 132-97 dub against the Mavs, both teams starting their B squads. But you can see that Memphis, because of the other results, did not finish in the playoffs. A team at one point that was 2nd in the West drops down to 8th. They will play the Warriors for that chance to take the 7 and start the playoffs against the Rockets. Loser of that one plays the winner of 9-10. Who will that be? Well, we know Dallas is locked in as the 10. Phoenix, Sacramento, the Kings did need a win to ensure their hosting of the 9-10. They didn't know that Dallas had lost at the time because that game was going on. And Sacramento would. They got it versus the $228 million fishing roster of the Phoenix Suns. It was 109-98, 20, 12, and 6 from Domantas Sabonis. Finishes 2nd in total rebounds on the season. Going to be doing a series in the playoffs and into the offseason called Where It All Went Wrong. I'm going to do it for every team that does not win the NBA title. So 29 episodes of Where It All Went Wrong. And I'm looking forward to the Suns episode. And you should too. Like and subscribe so you don't miss it. Games that kind of mattered. Indy Cleveland. This game would go to double overtime. The Pacers win at 126-118. Historic, as it was the biggest comeback in franchise history. A 27-point deficit for the Pacers. I wouldn't even say B squad. It was like a D squad that came back to win this game. Quentin Jackson, 21 points. 14 points, 14 rebounds from Tony Bradley. Shout out to those guys because they are players for the Pacers, if you did not know, that helped them secure their first 50-win season since 2014, the 10th time that the Pacers have done so in franchise history, hit the 50-win mark. Leaves the Cavs at 64 wins. That is the second most for them in franchise history. And Jarrett Allen finishes the season the first player ever to average 70+% from the field and 70+% from the free throw stripe. The Milwaukee Bucks, they end the game on an 8-game win streak, courtesy of a 43-point career best scoring effort from Pat Connaughton. I love days like today. Bench is empty. We get to hear names that we rarely say. And I also do not think that people, truly, most people, maybe some of y'all do, but most people understand how well some of these NBA role players can really hoop. They play a role because the other guys are so good, so they're asked to play that role. Pat Connaughton isn't going to get a game where he gets 35 shot attempts, but on a day like today, where he does get it, he can pour in 43. Big congrats from all of his teammates at the end, and also Malik Beasley and Giannis Antetokounmpo made up. Orlando, Atlanta, there you go. Mainly B squatters for both, but significant in the fact a Magic loss at 117-105 made their record an even 41-41. They become the first team to win a division without a winning record since the NBA-ABA merger. Some of y'all may not even be familiar with the ABA. The modern NBA game looks much more like the ABA. The ABA is why we have the three-point shot. It's why we have the dunk contest. It's why we have the dunk. It's why we stylistically have the game the way that it is. That merger happened in 1976. Never has there been a division winner without a winning record until today in the Orlando Magic. Let's get rid of divisions and conferences. It is one of my top campaign running points for my campaign as the new commissioner. Finally, the Washington Wizards. In one of the biggest surprises, had you told me at All-Star break, the Wizards do not finish with the worst record in the NBA. That would go to the Utah Jazz. And the reason being, one of their bright spots on the season, Carlton Khalil Carrington III, a.k.a. Bub Carrington, had a high kiss-off-the-glass game winner. Local kid from Baltimore. Dad is a famous coach who passed away earlier this season in the area. But to do it for the Wizards, well, maybe things aren't as dire as they've looked in the nation's capital. Is that a basketball comment or political? Updated standings, final standings. You see, I worked up a nice standings graphic over here to my left. If you're listening on podcast, go over and check out YouTube. It's got all sorts of pretty graphics, tells you everything that you need to know. Let's go through the playoff picture and how things stand after our 82 games. Oklahoma City gets the league's best record at 68-14. It is the biggest gap, 16 wins between first and second in NBA history. They become the sixth team in NBA history to win 68 games or more. Let's run through them. 73 Celtics, they lost the Eastern Conference Finals. The 67 Sixers, this is the year, not the amount of wins. They won the title. The 97 Bulls title. 72 Lakers won a title. Thunder also break the point differential record that belonged to the 72 Lakers, plus 12.86 points per game. Thunder beat a lot of teams by a lot of points this year. 96 Bulls also won the title, and the 16 Warriors lost in the NBA Finals. We await to see who the Thunder will begin their pursuit of a title against. Low-key, I think it's kind of a disadvantage of being the one seed. You have 4 teams that you have to potentially prepare for. Remember, of the 7 through 10, you could play any one of those 4, and you have it on short notice to do such. It's not settled, the 8 seed, until Friday. That series usually beginning on Sunday, so I don't know. I mean, they are the 1 seed, so. From there in the West, the Rockets with 52 wins. That's that 16-win gap. Lakers, Nuggets, Clippers all finished with 50 wins. Tie breaks determined the order. Lakers atop because they won their division, which I think they should have gotten because it was probably the toughest division in the league. Lakers, Clippers, Warriors, Suns, Kings. Only team Suns were still in play until the last week. I need to calculate win percentage by division for postseason breakdown. That'll come in a later episode. But yes, that is how it went. Lakers, Nuggets, Clippers, 3 through 5. Wolves get the final playoff spot. How costly was that blown 24-point fourth quarter lead to begin the week? Yes, all losses matter, but it gets magnified come the end of the year, and they had a 24-point lead against the Bucks. The West play-in, Kings host the Mavs. The loser of that is done. The winner will face the loser of the Grizzlies Warriors. Winner of that game punches their ticket. Is there any hope for the Mavericks? Dallas and Sacramento, both their seasons just seem like they need to be put to bed. Kings, it feels like they will move on from Doug Christie. What are the Kings doing? I don't know. Will Ja Morant have enough words to toss into the Bay Chase Center crowd? The Warriors, not going to lie, if y'all watched that game, that looked like an old team against another old team. Yes, we saw some of the old hits, Steph Curry included, but Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy, they have the experience, no question. Memphis, third youngest team in the league this season in terms of experience. What does it come down to in that 7-8 game? I told y'all that the Warriors would be in the play-in. Go dig up the footage. My prediction, though, for the West, that the Houston Rockets would win, well, that was very wrong. The Thunder rampaged their way through the league in the regular season. Still a massive surprise for Houston, finishing second in this year's West. High expectations for both of those teams hitting the playoffs. Probably none higher than the Oklahoma City Thunder. You win 68 games, as I had said in the last show of last week. Over the last decade, best record in the league has gone on to win the NBA Finals 3 of the 10 years. Let's go to the Eastern Conference. Cavs. They let their foot off the gas late. Didn't need to win a bunch of games, but still finish atop the East table. Still a historic season for the Cavs. Are they the clear-cut favorite to come out of the East? The Celtics, they were too far back to ever really make it interesting, but finished as the league's third 60-plus win team with 61. What to make of the news? Jaylen Brown and his knee issues. Coach Joe Mazzulla confirming reports about injections that Brown has had to take for his troublesome right knee. The defending champs will absolutely need the NBA Finals MVP for a chance to repeat. Just goes to show you there is so much luck when it comes to injuries in order to repeat in this league. Knicks, they get to 51 wins. That's one more win than last year. Would have surely been more without the extended absence of Jalen Brunson. Last season's 50-win team bowed out in the semifinals in 7 games to the Pacers. Don't sleep on Pistons Knicks. The prize for winning that should be playing the Celtics. If it's chalk, I look forward to doing the Where It All Went Wrong episode for the Knicks. Pacers, as mentioned, first 50-win season since 2014. The Bucks, second worst season win percentage-wise since 2017. Didn't want to do total wins because of the short season post-COVID. Giannis's fourth year was the worst win percentage season. But was this the best individual season that Giannis has had yet? If it weren't for SGA and Jokic, Giannis, clear-cut MVP type campaign. Bucks fate dependent solely upon the availability of Dame come playoff time. We will see. Pistons, that final 6 seed, the best story team-wise in the NBA this season. A 30-win turnaround from 14 to 44. JB Bickerstaff, hands down to me, is coach of the year. Heard a lot, seen a lot, read a lot. Talk of Cade Cunningham shouldn't be eligible or shouldn't be voted most improved player, being that he was the number 1 pick in the 2021 draft. The expectations were there, but wow, has this man made the leap? So maybe we need a new award or an additional award, player who made the leap. I'll get into the lab for a better name. That still seems like the best dunk of the year, which I will unveil eventually as I break down all of the best things that's happened across the course of the year. Which, let's talk the league's bests. Points. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander finishes as the scoring king, 300 more points than Anthony Edwards, who bested Nikola Jokic. That your top 3. Rebounds, Ivica Zubac, followed by Domantas Sabonis and Karl Anthony Towns. Assists, Trae Young, Nikola Jokic, then James Harden, your top 3. Blocks, Victor Wembanyama, back-to-back block champ. In spite of playing just 46 games, he was followed by Brook Lopez and Miles Turner. Hook 'em horns. Steals goes to Dyson Daniels. My vote for Defensive Player of the Year, and it's not just because he amassed 198 steals, more than SGA, who was in second place. Third was Chris Dunn. Dyson Daniels, 3.01 steals per game. That is the most since Alvin Robinson in 1990-1991. Total threes, Anthony Edwards took it by 1. 313 to 312 over Malik Beasley. Steph Curry finished with 304. Edwards attempted the most threes out of any player this season with 811 to Steph's 784. Would you have thought that when we entered the season? Remember when Anthony Edwards, post-Olympics, had said, I studied Steph's game. And remember Anthony Edwards, the conversation about shooting the 3? Well, it carried over. That is your 3-point king. The unethical king of the season? Well, there were 707 free throw attempts for Giannis. He made just 436. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander attempted 669. He made 601 free throws. The next closest player in makes, that would be James Harden, with 505 on 578 free throw attempts. So make of it what you will, but is your MVP the unethical king? Still, Shai had a pretty good year. But 669 points. 601, out of 669. He had 601 from the line. Highest scoring game of the season, Nikola Jokic, 61 in that double overtime loss against the Minnesota Timberwolves. De'Aaron Fox had 60, also in a loss for when he played for the Sacramento Kings. Both those games, the only 60-plus efforts that we have. Storyline of the season was the proliferation and continued shooting of the three-point ball. And the Celtics led the league, scoring 45.9% of their points from beyond the arc. Nuggets were last in the NBA, just 29.8% of their points from 3. Top scoring team in the league, the Cavs, 121.9 points per game. 4 teams averaged over 120 points per game. Yes, it is not your uncle's NBA of the 90s where teams would get by scoring 86. Cleveland, Memphis, Denver, Oklahoma City, all teams averaging over 120. Top offensive rated team, Boston. Top defensive rated team, OKC. The top net rating, Oklahoma City. Are we on a collision course? Celtics, Thunder, finals? We shall see. Players that played 82 games. Thought this one was cool to end on. Chris Paul made NBA history. The first player ever to start all 82 games in their 20th season. Previous record was John Stockton, who started all 82 in his 19th and final season. Other players that started all 82 games, Jalen Green, Mikal Bridges, Jared Allen, hook 'em horns, Harrison Barnes, and Jaden McDaniels. Shout out to starting and playing 82 games. Heavy pour, leading scorer of the night. You know we had to do it. Presented by Portland Water. Check them out. drinkpdxwater.com. Tonight, there was a tie. Well, today. Anthony Edwards and Pat Connaughton, both with 43. I looked it up just a second ago. 18 games we had of 50 or more across the course of the season. So that is 18 cool cans that I have cracked. of Portland water. Dunk of the night, this one of the easiest of the year. Big dunks are great, but big dunks in big games at big moments, well, those are even doper. Derrick Jones Jr. had a monster tomahawk, kinda on Steph Curry, not completely, early in the fourth quarter of the Clippers win. Performance of the night presented by Contract Year. Play in your contract year. Well, that goes to James Harden in that season finale, a must-win play-out of the play-in. 39 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists when his team needed it the most. And really, his team needed him the most all season, and he delivered. Kawhi Leonard suited up for just 37 games. Clippers finished with 50 wins, I think. James Harden is a lock for an all-NBA team. Question now becomes, can that duo do it in the playoffs? News item for the day. You would think we get down to the regular season finale. Well, we're going to save it for tomorrow for firings, and there was not a firing. Chauncey Billups. You go back to Christmas, and I tell you that Michael Malone and Taylor Jenkins would be out of a job before Chauncey Billups, you'd have said, no way. I would have said no way, but he resurrected the Blazers season and helped develop a group of young, extremely talented players. Danny Advia is probably within the top 10 of players that would be untouchable in trades at this point. Shaedon Sharpe is looking like a young star in the making. Scoot Henderson is even putting it together, and Chauncey Billups has been rewarded accordingly, the recipient of a multi-year contract extension from the Portland Trailblazers. I have already gone on record here at Z's and Threes and said, put me down for the Portland Trailblazers being a bona fide, not a play-in, bona fide playoff team 1 year from today at the conclusion of the regular season. So we'll have to pull the tape once we get there. House shoes. I had to bust out some heat for today's regular season finale. My Air Max 90 OG Infrareds. This was from the 2014 release. And short and sweet. I got it waiting over here. We're going to do this victory cigar. I appreciate all of you rocking with the show across the course of the season. 125 plus episodes. We have gone through so much. There were nights I was like, I don't know about this thing, but to be over 2,000 subscribers, to continue to put the axe to the wheel, nose to the grind, suit up, go out there and make a show every night for y'all, and for y'all to reward it and say, we believe in the show. We believe in the Signature Sneaker Showdown. Thank you. The ride is only just beginning. I've told you things that I'm working on for the playoffs, playoff previews, where it all went wrong for each team. Pretty straightforward there, where it all went wrong. And more so than ever, excited for what I feel will be an all-timer playoffs. There are teams that can win it, that could surprise you. We have no idea how this thing's going to go. And if somebody tells you, they're wrong, because I've watched as much NBA basketball this season as anybody out there, and I have no idea who's going to win the title. So thank you for tuning in. If you haven't liked and subscribed, if you like the show, continue along for the ride, because we are just getting started. What to watch? No action Monday, Tuesday. The stakes ratchet up. 7-8 games of the play-in. Magic hosting the Hawks. The Warriors hosting the Grizzlies. Remember, winners of those games get the 7 seed. In the East, they play the Celtics. In the West, against the Rockets. Loser plays the winner of 9-10. Those games happen Wednesday night. The first play-in team, we will see their season end. The final play-in game to determine the 8 seed happens Friday night. Playoffs begin in earnest Saturday, April 19th. Schedule yet to be released. Z's and Threes, we're just getting started. Got playoff previews, all NBA teams, MVP, episode 3 of the Signature Sneaker Showdown, where it all went wrong. We will start with teams that are in the lottery. So much to come on top of what looks to be an epic playoff. Shout out to all of you that have subscribed, liked, shared. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button. Come along for the ride. Like Nipsey Hussle said, that's how you win the whole thing and lift up a cigar with sweat dripping down your face. because the mission was hard. 125 shows, regular season in the can. We're taking a couple days off. Be back for a show Wednesday to break down Tuesday's play-in games. We'll see you then. Peace.